Look at that. Morning. Well, it's fucking early on a Tuesday. Starting to look like a scrapyard around here again. How we do when we're doing certain shit. But went up there this morning trying to sort of fucking security light out that wouldn't go out. Yeah, it was doing my CCTV alerts me when the fucking lights go off on that, and fucking, yeah, that light just wouldn't stop going off, man. So I've been pissing about that this morning, so, right, crack on with the van. So I need to get that bulkhead off, I need to get that heater motor out, so I might have to drop off all this fucking wipers and shit, we'll see. And then we'll get that heater motor, blower motor in, bulkhead back on and such. Obviously I've used the bulkhead out of that car, which is down there somewhere. And then we'll drag that under, get that in. I'm going to go and have a look in my workshop in a minute. My parts, my parts shed. I've remembered this morning, I did have a petrol fuel tank for a van. They're pretty rare. I've kept it, so if I can find that, I'm going to put that in. And then what I'll do, I'll take the fuel lines off of that 4-door, put them on this with a better pump. I've got a nice pump there that was in my track car, so I use that pump on this car, so we've got a good pump then. If not, if I can't find it, what I'll do, I'll put a inline facet fuel pump in. Yeah, either way I want the fuel lines off of that 4-door. I should have dropped the tank and lines off it first, really, before I took it off the ramp. I regret that now. I can do it on the floor over there, but yeah, one of them. Do you know what I mean? But I want to get that engine in this engine bay today. So yeah, that's where we're at. I'm gonna go down my shed in a minute and have a look at that tank as well. Yeah, first of all, take the bulkhead off and get that heater motor out. I'll see if I can do this one without taking the wiper motor off, because I had to take the wiper motor off from the other car. What did I do? We'll see. Right, that's where we're at. Jason's coming up tomorrow. So Jason tomorrow, what I'll do, if I can get the engine in today, we'll put this out where that Cosworth replica is. We'll put it there, so next to each other. And we'll get Jason then, we'll take the wiring from this car and put it in the van that we parked there. And we'll get the Mondeo in here. Whilst Jason's swapping wiring over for me, I'll be in here taking the engine out of the Mondeo, ready to go into that red van up there. Yeah, so let's try and get some progress done. See you in a bit. We're getting stuck in. Look at all that shit. All that shit, oh, some horrible shit there, like, was out of there. So I'll give this a good clean out, look. But what you'll see, thankfully, it's got the holes in the bulkhead here, because sometimes these holes on certain vans and certain escorts are solid. There's no holes there. This has got sound deadening in there, and basically it's got the wrong heater matrix unit in there. So when the dash comes out, we'll cut all this away, change the unit for the right one, so this then will vent into the cabin. Because, I'll show you, on this one, look, it's just foamed off, not really used. On this one, it's open, so it's got a flap there, look. That opens and shuts, so this one's your atmosphere. Then that flips up to there, goes into the cabin, as well as there underneath. So it goes into the cabin in two places, because it's aircon there and there. That's the difference in your units, look. This is your aircon one. There's your fridge pipes that go in, look, cold air. This hasn't got them, so that's what we'll put in there now. So I'll give that a good clean off. I also noticed that the van hasn't got any alarm fobs or anything like that, and all this was seemed to be fucked, the wiring, so I ripped out this shit that goes through the bulkhead. Old alarm shit. There's no fobs or anything, so when I take the dashboard out, I'll have to rip all that out as well. So more wiring shit to be sorted. Yeah, well, we're getting there, so we'll get that in next, and then we'll get the firewall, well, the sound deadening on top of that firewall. T-brake though, see it be. Starting to line it up underneath, but before we lined it up, well, before we finally lined it up, I've changed the water pump. So there we have it, brand new water pump, brand new timing belt, brand new pulleys, tensioner, voila. We can't change the auxiliary belt because the one that came for it looks like a non-AC one. It's too small, so Mark provided all the parts, so he'll have to just pick up a non-AC one. We'll put that one back on for now. It wasn't noisy, do you know what I mean? It is tired, but it wasn't noisy. Car was quiet, so. But it's nice to know we've got a brand new water pump on there, so that won't seize. Cam belts. Didn't look that bad, to be honest. It's a nice belt that was on here. So, no real signs of age. It's been done at some point because somebody else's timing marks are on there, even though the timing mark's not correct. Like they've put it on a seat and then a tooth, which you don't do, you know. You want it tooth and tooth there. So I don't know why, when I lined it up they did have it pretty close. So you got a bit of tolerance on these engines anyway. So but yeah, it's all timed up nicely now. Just got to put the timing belt covers back on and then we'll drag it into position to get it into the van. Right, see you in a bit. Look at the mess. You know I'm not a mess. I have a sweep up, tidy up, mop up because it's fucking messy. But I'm having a celebrity tea break because there you go. It's in to a degree. It's bolted in. You know, subframe's bolted in, engine mounts are bolted in, radiator's bolted in. A bit close to this Cosworth grill with this aircon rad, but it is what it is. So we've got to plumb the aircon pipes in. And yeah, plumb the water in, a few cables, and then basically get the wheels on and I'll get it out of here for tomorrow. Park next to the 4x4 door there where the replica is, and Jason will take the wiring off this what's not needed, take the wiring off that's needed and put the wiring off that onto this whilst I'm pissing about with the Mondeo. So apparently Jason says, yeah, it's easy, just plug and play. I hate it, so leave it to him. Right, see you in a bit. Morning, is it? Yep, still morning. And look, got Mondeo on the ramp because I'm dropping that shit out of there. This morning, look, Max Power Van's over there again. We've got Jason.
Good morning.
There he is. Ugly bugger, isn't he?
Handsome devil.
Ugly bugger. But look, this is where my yeah, this is where my fucking ADHD, fucking OCD, whatever you call it, fucking kicks in, and just writes me off, man. Electrics. And as much as this isn't wiring stuff up, this is plug and play, as Jason says, plug and play. It's not for me, man. Do you know what I mean? Look at it, it's fucking spaghetti junction. But Jason's ripping all the wiring out of this car, and then he's going to take the wiring out of the van, and all this is going in the van. Now, I've done it before, I can do it, it's just, I fucking hate doing it, you know? I don't like doing it. Like Jason's just flying through it, no messing about, he's like smash this out in what, an hour, pulling it apart, like, whereas me, I'd be there all day, probably tape label some things up, you know what I mean, just in case I forget what goes where. But you won't forget, it only goes in one place, doesn't it, generally, do you know what I mean? But it's not for me, man. Fucking... Yeah, Jason keeps winding me up, look, going, I don't know where it goes, Kev, I don't know how it goes back in. Been alright, bell end. Yeah, but we've took the dash out of there as well, and we're going to take the heater blower motor out, I think, with the blower motor on the top, you know, the matrix, but at the bottom. You're going to check that that's any different to that one in there. But the dashboard in this is mint, so we're going to put this mint dashboard in there as well. Obviously all the controls in this are different, so this is aircon controls with buttons where it won't be in that. So everything that was in there is going in there. So what Jason's doing now is ripping it apart, and he's going to lie all this over there then, in front of the van, strip the van, and then all this can go in the van. Yeah, makes it look easy, doesn't it? Yeah, not for me. Oh, see you in a bit. Easy, he says. This is what I'm doing. Dropping this out of there, and you forget how difficult Mondeos can be. You can't drop them at the bottom because the subframe's got to come out the top. So basically what I've done is got me reciprocating shore out because we're not keeping anything. I've chopped through fucking looms, I've chopped through pipes, I've chopped through the exhaust. But this is proper mad different to my engine. Even though mine was out of a Mondeo Mark II, this is nothing like this. Like, this has got the alternator on the back. It's got a different exhaust downpipe. It's got a different inlet. Yeah, lots of differences on this engine. But I've got to make this engine go into Jason's Mark V van. So I'm gonna have to strip all the crap off. Like this pump's different as well by the look of it. Like, we've got like what looks like an extra. It's like a choke, is it? It's diesel. Diesel wouldn't have a choke, I don't suppose, but I don't know, man. Loads of differences. So when this goes into the van, I'm gonna have to scratch my head and decide what goes off the NA motor that's in his onto this and stuff like that. Because it's not going to be as easy to fit this into his as it was to fit mine into mine, if that makes sense. Yeah, well, I think all I've got to do now is, like, this got hydraulic gearboxes as well with a cable shift, so I've got to get the cable shifter off, or chop through them, and then we've got one engine mount left. I can start lifting it out. Right, see you in a bit. Getting somewhere, not as far as I wanted to today so far. Fuck me, 4 o'clock, still going. So we've got our fuel pump there, which will be bolted to that rear bulkhead there. And it comes down here, fuel filter, feed from the tank. So that's where we'll have our lift from the tank. And then also we have here our return. And then our feed comes down on a braided hose. And this is where our feed will meet a hard line here. And my return will meet a hard line here. So what I'll do, I'll take the 2 hard lines off that 4 door, then they'll run down here, meet that one, and we'll cable tie or P-clip this one up to there. So yeah, that's that at the minute. The fuel tank is here. It's been drained and it's currently, there's a load of petrol in there in a minute. So it's letting a load of petrol soak into it. We'll get that petrol out and then we'll put some nice clean petrol in it then. So just trying to get rid of all the diesel crap out of it. Like, it's quite a clean tank, to be honest. Exhaust is done. You know what I mean? It's a bit crude, do you know what I mean? But it is what it is. Bit of a gum on it, like. So we welded that flange on there, and it's bolted onto that flange there. So there you go. Exhaust is on. Exhaust on, and then we've got to get these fuel pipes on. So the standard fuel pipes are up here. I've got to find the standard fuel pipe fittings up there where they push onto. We'll have a look. See you in a bit. Morning, van's back on the ramp and we're going to sort the fuel system and the exhaust out this morning. It's basically, I've had to take the flange off the downpipe slash manifold. It's a downpipe, this is. The Z-Tech system is bigger than the diesel exhaust system. This is also working with at the minute, and the direction of this flange is pointing a good 30-40 degrees in the wrong direction. So, and it's a different size as well. So that's the flange that was on it. That's the flange we need. You can see the size difference. About 5mm, but it'll have to do for now until Mark gets a nice exhaust system made up. So what I'm going to do is weld this one onto here. So instead of it facing there, weld it on facing there so it's in the right direction. So you can bolt that up. So I'll get that welded on. That's the exhaust job. And then fuel system. We're going to be running a Bosch inline pump, and it will be bolted there next to the tank. So I'm going to bolt that on the car there. But what I'm going to have to do, I'm going to run the lines that was on the Escort all the way back to here, and then we'll run hardline adapters. Basically, I'll show you. Yeah, what's the pump? Where's the hardline adapter? The hardline adapter there on the end, but basically that's got an olive in it on each end. That's a male and female just mated together. So imagine we've got the 4-door fuel line coming down here onto the diesel one, and we just cut there, and that's how we join the diesel one to the petrol one. Okay, and then what we'll do, we'll put one of these on here onto a braided line. The braided line will go up here to the pump, and then from the pump into the tank. So it's a lift, it'll be a lift pump basically pulling out of this tank, because that's how the diesels work. They've got a pipe that goes to the bottom of the tank, so it'll just suck the petrol out. What we need to do, tank off first as well. Get these lines off, tank off, drain the tank, wash the tank out with petrol, swill it out, a bit more petrol, wash it out, and then fill it full of petrol. Tank back on. So yeah, that's where I want my fuel pump there, and then we're gonna have to put some wire into it. So yeah, and a relay from the ignition. Alright, let's plod on with that. So fuel, exhaust, we'll plod on with that. Engine bay's done. After changing the engine and the complete loom from the 4-door, the only issue I've got is at the moment the temperature gauge is flat out with battery on or off. The temperature gauge is in the red on the dash. Here's the van loom that we removed, complete van loom. So the whole lot had to be removed because it's shagged. I mean, there's so much issues with it, like yeah, trying to pull this off of it. One sec. This stays there, and dust and shit in there. Like, at least it looks dry, but the loom had so many issues with it. Pretty much a fire hazard on a lot of that loom, so we decided to pull the whole loom out, get rid of the whole loom. Well, Jason did, bless him. Jason did that, because I hate wiring. Yeah, so we've got a temp gauge issue, and this indicator doesn't work. I don't know if it's a bulb. I'll change the bulb from the other side. If not, that indicator's not working. That's not bad, is it? Indicator and a temp gauge at the minute. So I'm guessing we've missed an earth somewhere, that temperature gauge. I've gone round, I can't find any earths that are not on the body anywhere. So Pierce is coming round Tuesday, because 4x4 will be going, but I want him to tidy up a little bit of wiring that goes to the issue on the 4x4. I'll get him to have a look at this. At least it'll be running then, hopefully. Let's get this exhaust done and this fuel system done today. Sounds easy, but it's not. It's a pain in the arse. So, bit of welding, tank off, cleaning, drying, petrol in there, cutting and mating up fuel lines, and yeah, it's Friday today, so it'd be nice if I get this running and driving today. So that's before the end of the week. Yeah, this exhaust is not the best, man. It's got a funny little tailpipe on it. So if Mark had longer, I'd offer to build him a nice new exhaust. I think he's in a bit of a rush. So we'll see. We'll crack on. See you in a bit. Nearly 5 to 6 on Friday, and fuel tank's back on. We've got like 30 litres of E5 in there. Fuel lines are done. Nice fuel lines. Fuel pump is bolted up out of the way. Filters in there. Everything's nice and tidy. All we've got at the minute is a live and earth for the pump. Just hanging outside the car at the minute, because I'm going to get Pierce to do me a nice relay off Ignition Live next week on Tuesday for that. We'll end up just drilling a hole in the back of this, in this here. So exhaust is done. So I'm going to lower it down, move this welder out of the way, tidy up, and put the pump on a battery and try and start it. Yeah, let's see. Getting somewhere, not as far as I wanted to today so far. Fuck me, 4 o'clock, still going. So we've got our fuel pump there, which will be bolted to that rear bulkhead there. And it comes down here, fuel filter, feed from the tank. So that's where we'll have our lift from the tank. And then also we have here our return. And then our feed comes down on a braided hose. And this is where our feed will meet a hard line here. And my return will meet a hard line here. So what I'll do, I'll take the 2 hard lines off that 4 door, then they'll run down here, meet that one, and we'll cable tie or P-clip this one up to there. So yeah, that's that at the minute. The fuel tank is here, it's been drained and it's currently, there's a load of petrol in there in a minute. So it's letting a load of petrol soak into it. We'll get that petrol out and then we'll put some nice clean petrol in it then. So just trying to get rid of all the diesel crap out of it. Like, it's quite a clean tank to be honest. Exhaust is done. You know what I mean? It's a bit crude, do you know what I mean? But it is what it is. Bit of a gum on it like. So we welded that flange on there. And it's bolted onto that flange there, so there you go. Exhaust is on. Exhaust on, and then we've got to get these fuel pipes on. So the standard fuel pipes are up here. I've got to find the standard fuel pipe fittings up there where they push onto. We'll have a look. See you in a bit. There you go. Oh fuck me, screen. I like, wouldn't it, if I clean the lens? Okay, no. There you go, all running. I've checked the fuel system. There's no leaks, no drips, nothing. Pump's happy sitting there. That torch on, so look. If I can get the fucking torch on. There you go. Pump's happy sat up there. Filter, pump. And we got hard lines, braided, straight up there. Standard fitment lines go all the way up. Standard fitment into the engine. Yeah, so it's been some graft. I don't like the exhaust. Obviously, it's the fan exhaust or some strange thing, but obviously that's something I'm guessing it'll get done next. It's a work in progress, and it's a project. So tomorrow, it's getting dark now. Tomorrow we'll get lowered down and put all the finishing trim bits in, steering wheel. I'm going to go down to my barn as well and have a look for some RS2000 Recaros we can put in here. Wiring on Tuesday then from Pierce. Hopefully by Tuesday I'll have had everything I want done. That's the plan. And then midweek I can tell Mark he can have the car. That's the plan. Got to get that bumper back on. Again, not a big fan of how the bumper fits, you know, it's just 2 bolts on each side. So I don't know if I can have a look at that and see if there's anything else I can do. But yeah, oh, I forgot to check the indicator bulb. Gotta do that. Little things, you know. Right, I'm knackered, it's Friday. I'm gonna crack on over the weekend. I got my son's car to fix. Auxiliary bolts come off my van, I don't know if I told you. So what I'm gonna do, I'm gonna take the alternator, auxiliary pulley, and power steering pump off that engine there and put it on mine, along with the sump, because I don't know if I told you there's 2 bolt holes on my sump missing, because mine's a turbo sump and I'm running NA auxiliary side. So yeah, try and get my van done over the weekend. Yeah, just push on, man. I'm fucked. Right, see you later. Hope you've enjoyed my video throughout the week. I don't know how much and what I've filmed, do you know what I mean? I'll try and get back on some things. I don't know if I showed you this. Said goodbye just, I left you. Right, fuel tank. This is a 12-gallon fuel tank for this car. So AN8 AN6 return, AN6 breather, AN8 feed. So that will be going in this. So I can get this running again and then back up on axle stands, get the engine out. I want to get the fuel system running in it first before I take the engine out. So then when I plug the other engine in, I can just start it, not fuck about with this. You know, let's put this in. So, right, that'll be it. See you later.